we go. Okay, welcome everyone. So this is class 5 of our level 1 series of drawing sacred geometry. Thank you for the validation because it's really tricky to track these days. I should say confirmation, not validation. Let's see. Yeah, so very exciting. We are going to look at the flower of life today. And, which is based in the seed of life. It's a little bit of a review. We're just going back to source, and we're going to find our way through this beautiful, beautiful shape. So let's do our drop in. Let's just arrive, give ourselves a couple of moments of deep breath in the day. I want to invite you to turn your attention inward and close your eyes gently, or softening your gaze, just bringing your attention to your breath. Beginning to slow your inhalations down, bringing them in through the nose and then exhaling out through the mouth. See if you can just begin to relax on every exhalation. Maybe letting out a nice sigh as you do. Using the in-breath to connect with your physical body, taking that deep belly breath all the way into your torso, feeling your legs, feeling your body resting on the surface supporting it. Creating a little more spaciousness in your field. Maybe doing a little inventory as to how you're showing up this evening, where you are physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically, connecting with all the parts of you using your breath. Using your breath to connect with your whole system, remembering the fullness of who you are beyond this three-dimensional body. Taking a nice deep breath into your heart, appreciating yourself and your entire system, appreciating your divine intelligence that brought you to this experience for your expansion. And a sense of gratitude for that infinite being that you are. Feeling the connection to yourself, to each other on the call, breathing into the cosmos as part of the whole. Oh, great. As you're ready, come on back to our visual field. Nice transition. I feel like I should have taken a couple more breaths throughout the day. But here we are. So, yes, today is the flower of life, and I am so excited to see you all and see perhaps what you've drawn this week, or just celebrating the fact that you showed up. We'll do our little check-in here, and then we will get into the drawing. So I also have a really cool video. It's called Sonic Geometry, and I'm not sure we're going to get to it, so I'm going to save it till the end. And if we do have time, we'll look at it. And if not, I can send the link to you. But it's really cool little 15-minute video that brings a lot of things together. But before we do all that, would anybody like to start us off with a check-in of how your week has been or anything you've drawn? Geometry in review. We've got Andrew and Alicia on side view. All right. Well, we got all the kitties coming in. Okay, who would like to start us off? Yeah, Summer, hi there. Okay, wait,
Hi.
hang on. Oh my gosh, hang on. I gotta not drop my water. Look at this situation coming on screen. Holy cow. Tell us about it.
So I just took the drawing that we did in class, and it's kind of
Yeah.
dark in here, but I don't know if you can see that I colored each section. I wanted it to be like a rainbow spiral.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, and it is, yeah.
I made it gold. I highlighted the pattern in gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it got me more familiar with like the measurements.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to figure out how to draw it so that it takes up the whole page, basically.
Mm-hmm. Will you
It
hold
because
it
I
up a
know that,
little bit long? It's just so cool to just while you're talking. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lot
I
of fun.
love it. It's a great. And I love the gold outline. Um, the trick of it is that if you go for the next iteration, right? The next sequence in the Fibonacci that opens it all up, it
Hmm.
doesn't stay on the page.
Uh-huh,
So,
uh-huh.
but the thing that you can do, sorry, I'm getting my cat going. The thing you can do, is, oh, geez, there's the water. Um, it's, I'm so smart now and I drink out of a water bottle. Um, if you get, I believe, I'll come in a screen share. I believe the next size up from the 14 by 11 is 23 by 29. It's really lovely. There's once you start, you can't stop. And I think the 5 fits on there with the next
Okay.
expression. Yeah. But very cool. Yeah. Love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, when I first started drawing sacred geometry, I was in my RV, which was like I had 16 feet by like 4 feet. And I just first it was the 11 by 14, then it was a 23 by 29. And then I started doing basements and houses, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And you can get compasses that extend out, for 2 feet. So you can make like a 4-foot circle. So you can go as big as you want to go with that phi. Thanks for starting us off. That was beautiful. All right. No pressure. How's everyone else doing? Who'd like to go next? Chris, welcome. No worries that you're just right on time. Yeah. Remember, no pressure. Yeah. Madeline, how's it going?
Going well. I wasn't very successful during class, and so with my phi ratio, so I spent some time working on it. And to show Summer, this is sort of like as far, if you try to take up the whole paper, this is all you can get, because that's what I
Mm-hmm.
tried to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just get like a few extra angles, and that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
But but I did go back and do the vector equilibrium because I'm
Oh,
really obsessed with that
sorry.
one.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show it because I kind of tried to create multiple planes by overlapping colors.
Oh, yes.
So doing like
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
same line but with two different colors so that depending on which color you look at, you can kind of see difference.
Super cool. Yes.
So
Yes.
that was really fun to work on.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
so it's so lovely because it's so quick that you can really do a lot with it. Yeah.
yeah. Um and I did have a bunch of conversations about sacred geometry, and there was a New York Times article. I think I sent it to you, but there's an author who went back to math when he was 60 years old. He went back to school to elementary math
Oh,
and
wow.
then wrote a book about like mathematics in the universe,
Oh,
and
wow.
there was a really good article. So I'd recommend that if you find that.
Did you send it? Did you send it to me? I feel like
I
I
did. I think I
might have missed it.
gift because I haven't the New York Times app. I can gift
Oh,
articles that are like paywalled,
okay.
but the author's name, I'll pull it up really quick. His name is Alec Wilkinson.
Okay. Okay.
And so he wrote a book called A Divine Language, Learning Algebra as at an old age. So
Oh, that sounds brilliant. Thank you. I'm sure you sent it. I can't track that. If you don't mind sending it again. Is
Sure.
it something where you can only share it to one person, or could I put the link in the?
We can try. New York Times lets you gift 10 articles a month. So if I don't know how many people can access, I'll try again. I'll
Well,
send
we
it
wouldn't
again.
want to use it all up. So, yeah,
It's
maybe
fine.
I'll see what I can do, but very, very cool. Yeah, it's never too late to heal the geometry wound.
Mhm. That's his whole story, is that he had to heal that childhood mathematics
Yeah.
at that age. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. The phi is what helped me do it, honestly.
Mhm.
Like that Fibonacci sequence, I was like, oh, I can do this. I mean, um I took a picture. That's the phi ratio, but I'm a big fan of, sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent. I'm a big fan of Nassim Haramein, and he just published kind of like a theory of everything. And this is like big math. like,
Yeah.
like all of these different kinds of equations, and I'm still daunted by it, but I can do the phi. So that's great. We're healing the geometry. Sorry, that was a
Mhm.
little redundant. Thank you for
Mhm.
that, for
Yeah.
starting us off. And your image reminded me that we start the phi with a 4-inch radius. So it
Mhm.
gives us an 8-inch circle. So you can go a little bit bigger. I don't know if that's what you did. You could do like a 5-inch. Is that what you did to make it a little bit bigger? Because that's,
I don't I'm not sure.
yeah,
When it didn't work during class, I think I didn't have my compass at the right size. And
okay.
so yeah.
Yeah,
I think I tried.
it's all about playing around, right? Trial and error, and just
Yeah.
having fun that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Who would like to go next? And if honestly, remember, if you're just showing up and nothing happened during the week, didn't even think twice, that's perfectly wonderful. Who'd like to go next? Karen, it looks like you're jumping in, I can tell. Or not.
I'm not jumping in. I'm just smiling.
Oh, great.
I'm just a quiet week, but I love how sacred geometry just keeps popping up in different ways. If I was reading something and all of a sudden sacred geometry is there, so it keeps popping up in life, which is cool.
Yeah, opening the field up. Well,
Yeah.
wonderful. Lovely to have you here. It is, it's like when you break your arm, you see everybody that with a broken arm, right? It's
Yeah.
just, you just bring it into your attention, and it's a little bit of a testimony to the power with the law of attraction, right? Living that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Creating the energy field, bringing it in.
Yes, that's the way to do it. All right, thank you. Great. Anybody else want to just say hi, jump in? Or if you were so busy celebrating your postgraduate week that you didn't think twice about it, that's fine too. Let's see. All right. I would love to just hear everybody's voice, even if it's just to say, hey, I'm here and nothing happened. And just, or shoot it in the chat, because we are a field, right? We're a collective field. And if this is your last time on the 5th class, if this is the last time on your level 1 and you're not going on to level 2, let's just feel each other and, acknowledge that we've been on this journey together, this expanded state.
Hi there.
Hi there.
Hello. So I got together a couple times with friends, and I was actually working on mandalas.
Woo!
Are really super beautiful. So I kind of learned a little bit about that. And
Yeah.
but then I got together with another friend because I knew we were doing the flower of life, so I wanted to go back to practice my seed.
Nice.
So that was kind of fun.
Beautiful.
The value is in the imperfection.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I did this week.
Ah, lovely. Lovely. Thank you so much. I love the shading and the coloring on your seed. It's really beautiful. And that mandala, you had the tiny center bit, but there's quite a bit more to go. You have a structure, quite a bit more of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, I saw a really kind of explained some different patterns that you can use, and so I'm just like going through them, figuring it out as I go. Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful. And your compatriot there, Andrew, you want to say hello? Are you, oh boy. All right. Hi there.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Nice to see you. I did a little bit of drawing, nothing too much. I bit sick this week with a
Oh no.
you know, just
Oh, cool.
there we go. But there's there's some.
I love the two circles. Oh, wait, hang on a second. That was super fast. I love those two outliers that bring attention in that negative space way to the seed. That's so cool.
Thank you. I appreciated them too.
Yeah. That's just a fun riffing, right? It's just thinking outside the box or the circle, as it were. Sorry you're feeling sick. Glad you made it though.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna sneeze. Hang on. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Did I get it in time? Okay. Great.
Hello.
Leiko, hi there.
Yeah, hi. I didn't do a lot of drawing. I did get a new hand brace though. I have arthritis, so my doctor gave me this lovely brace, and I'm learning to write and draw with it. Different, but it's good. I can still do it, so that's
Yeah.
fun. And I've been working on a painting, and I'll show you all when it's a little bit more finished. But yeah, I've been trying to think about spirals and ways to do spirals and things like that and stuff. Yeah, so the 5 spiral really came in handy with my portal paintings. I was trying to figure out ways to incorporate that into it this past week, and that was really nice.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. Is that your dominant hands or your non-dominant hands? Yeah. That's like a whole new learning curve with that. Yeah. And
Like,
also,
oh, sorry.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I have, it's hereditary on my mother's side of the family. So I have, the salon patches because it's just this past week is I'm dropping things. And it affects the mobility, but I don't know if they're basically patches that have menthol in them that really kind of break things down. Sorry for that digression, but I was like,
Oh, that's a
I know
great
how
tip.
you-
I'm gonna look into that because mine is also hereditary on my dad's side. So my dad,
Okay.
my grandma, and everything, they had to get their
Yep.
joints replaced, and so I'm trying to do some things to avoid that.
Yep.
Thank you for the tip.
sorry.
No, if you guys want to chat, if like send the info via chat, that would be a good resource sharing. I mean, we need each other. Like that's how we are gonna make it. All right, let's see. We got Chris and Brooke and Carly before we get going. Just want to hear how you're doing.
I'll just say hi everyone. I had a very, very long and demanding day of work, and so I'm feeling a little bit more on the observer side tonight. So hello, I'm glad to be here, and yeah, I'll be present.
Well, even that is tremendous. So thank you for showing up, and got to thank yourself for giving that to you. I mean, that is just, it's a long push at the end of the day, right? So well done. Well done. Good to have you here. All right. Brooke, how's the puppy? How's the new world? How's the family?
Need to sign up for the next 5 classes. When you mentioned how it was broken out, I think that I just signed up for the first 5 because I didn't understand the 2 parts. So I need to sign up for that. I assume it's okay to sign up at this late date. Okay.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I love the next 5 classes as well. Well, good. That's great. And today you're doing well? All is well with you?
Yes. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, great.
The
Okay.
puppy and the cat, as you saw a minute ago. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I mean, it's family, it's family. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you're going to be signing up, and it looks like Chris, you signed up as well. So that's fun. I do them in 2 segments so that, because a 10-week course, lots of people don't know what sacred geometry is. You're like, oh, I'll just find out. And to sign on for 10 weeks is a lot. So I do the 5-week segment, and then you get hooked, and then you gotta keep going. It's a very diabolical plan. So, all right. Yeah, Karen.
Sorry, one other thing. I think that I signed up through
Okay.
Portland. Can I email you later to check directly with you or do I? Okay,
Absolutely.
perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. It's Portland Community College is its own system. It's a little tricky. So I duly noted that we'll get you in there and we'll make sure. All right. Carly, bring us home. How you doing?
Hello. I am doing good. I had a chance to do the phi ratio last
Oh, hang on a
week.
second. Hang on, let me get you in there. Yeah, look at that. Brilliant. What do you think? How was it?
It was fun, and it's like, you know, ever since the very first class, I've been after class, I close my eyes and I'm just seeing geometric shapes and I'm seeing like different colors and kind of like get the zoomies
Mm-hmm.
of like different three-dimensional shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, after drawing the phi ratio, it's been like I just get those visions all throughout the day now. Like I just close my eyes and I'm just like seeing all of this
Oh
like
boy.
moving geometry.
Oh boy. That can be tricky to navigate. This world and
I
that
mean,
one.
it's very welcome in my in my space.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Did
I
I cut you
navigate
short
it
there?
well.
Were you going to show another one? Did you have another one to show? I didn't mean to minimize your screen there.
No, I haven't really had the time to do much else.
It's amazing you did that. I mean, the fact that you've shown up in the last weeks of your degree, like that's testimony to how alive it is for you in your field. So that is so cool to hear about sort of seeing it and having it in that manifestation, you know.
Totally. Yeah, and I'm actually moving tomorrow, so I've been packing up all day today and I'm driving up to Minnesota tomorrow. So just a lot of big transitions. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to be doing the next series, but thank you so much for um, getting me started. And I'm definitely going to be going off on my own and like looking up videos and continuing.
Awesome. Awesome. There's a lot of people that come to sacred geometry in transition, right? Because it's so anchoring. You know, it's the same shape. It's predictable. It's such a comforting structure. So I'm so glad you gave yourself this even amidst everything that you were doing. And I wish you well on that transition. That's a big, big move. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on all of it. All right. Am I missing anybody? Looks like Hugh is not with us tonight, so we'll send our salute to Hugh. I think we're probably missing, I think, one or two others. So hello to everyone coming on board. Let's see. I know Tiffany as well said she wouldn't be here tonight. And then I think there's one other person, but geometry transcends time and space. So I think we will get into the flower of life. Now, we did the vector equilibrium. And did I showed you the 64 star tetrahedron? Did we look at that a little bit? Nope. All right, great. We're gonna do it tonight. Okay, so oh boy. All right. Sorry, my cat's on board too. So I'm just gonna optimize the video, which means I'm not gonna be able to see you until I show this video, but we'll just change that around. Hi. Okay. So today, right, we started with the seed of life and we're going to build into the flower of life. And this is really user-friendly class because it's the kind of thing where at any point in time you can stop building the pattern and you're still going to have the flower of life, right? Lots of different iterations. Seed of life, flower of life. Remember, it's a hexagonal pattern, so 6 sides, super satisfying with that symmetry. And this is just a tiny review, right? Because, you know, as we're talking about seeing the geometry a little bit more in the field, seeing it in our environment, you know, if you could broaden out and talk about, you know, the presence on a global scale, right? You're going to find it everywhere and anywhere associated with sacred sites and temples and with wisdom. I don't want to say wisdom traditions, but woven into the explanations and the cosmologies, right? This is Michelangelo down here on the bottom right? Like it goes way, way back, all the way back. And then way, way back into us, right? So it's tricky as we're drawing on the 2D, you know, to try and remember and incorporate that our, the geometry is literally speaking to us on a cellular level, right? With the phi ratio activating our DNA. Like it sounds like a big claim, but I promise you that there's so much potential for activation in that 90% of our subconscious reality, right? Like we're really turning stuff on and activating our holographic DNA. I mean, it can go as far as you want it to go. And we know nothing of, our infinite nature, like we mentioned last time. So my point with a very satisfying class, because you can stop at any iteration and still get the flower of life, is demonstrated here, right? Because on that top line, we've got the seed. And then the next one, standing all alone, is called the egg of life, which is, you usually see that in a third dimensional representation, right? This is if you were to skip every other circle and draw the flower this way. And I'll tell you what I mean in a minute. It's hard to explain in this process right here. But what we're going to do is we'll start with the seed, and then you can build one ring around it, right? And then you can build 2 rings around it, and 3 rings, and 4 rings is what you get. The expanded flower of life is what you get when you add 4 rings of circles. So we're going to play around with it. But the bottom line is wherever your comfort level is, right? You can start off tonight. You can call it the flower of life, and then you can go on to practice, or just call it a good class series at that point. So let me see down here. Okay, so this is the egg of life, right? This is what I meant when you usually see it in a third dimensional representation, because it's simply a different access point of the flower. And I will try and show you what I mean. Yeah, can I do it here? Not so easily. But anyway, we've got the seed and the egg and the fruit and the flower and the tree of life, all of it wound up in this pattern, right? And this is a 3-dimensional version of the flower of life, right? You see all of these spheres, right? And that's the spherical element being sort of that divine feminine aspect. And then it's partnered with its sort of quote unquote divine masculine, right? Not to be binary. We all have everything on the spectrum, but these 2 balanced forces in the shape, you can see in there, there's a little bit of you can see the seed in life, and it forms a tetrahedral structure, which looks like this. And this is called the 64-star tetrahedron. So I can't, I don't want to pop out of the screen share because we have one more video. But yeah, I'm gonna pop it just to make sure. Did we see this before? No, we have not seen that. Great, because I just don't want to repeat myself. All right, here we go. So 64-star tetrahedron, right? So you've got 64 tetrahedrons within the flower of life. I like to call it the bones, right? It's the internal structure that supports the spheres, right? And so you've got this star tetrahedron, right? You remember the Merkaba, our light body, and there are 8 of these larger tetrahedron that you take apart, and we're going to get back. Oh, that's one of my pieces of art that's actually hanging out in New Renaissance, right? And I think Summer and I go way back to New Ren. But I spent a long time being very obsessed with the 64-star tetrahedron. So this is 2 of them overlaying each other, and then you get that central star and some dimensionality, because it's all about the dimensionality of the geometries. And I want to get to a slide. Can you all close your eyes? Close your eyes for a second. Don't mind any of this. Okay, I want you to see this. Okay, this is, I don't know if you guys can hear me. This is when you take 8 of the tetrahedrons off, and look, there it is, the cuboctahedron. So, right, the vector equilibrium. Let me just pause. I'm going to do that one more time. Let's see. Can you guys, all right, let me see. Brooke, can you come off mute and tell me if you can hear me? Can you hear me at all? No?
Yes,
All right.
I can.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, awesome. So I'm just muting the video because he's just talking about stuff. So I'm going to mute it again. Okay. So this is if you were to take apart that star tetrahedron, right? So all of this is to say, here's all of the magic in this shape, right? You take off the tetrahedrons, you've got the cube octahedron, our friend, the vector equilibrium, and of course, you remember the shape of free energy. Okay, close your eyes again. I just have that one up here. Okay, so now I'm gonna pop out and take it off of optimization because I can't stand to not see you guys. Okay, great. All right, so much better. So when we're talking about the 64 star tetrahedron, we're just like with the flower of life, there's a universality to this shape, right? There's a way that it corresponds to the 64 hexagrams in the I Ching, 64 codons in our DNA, right? The 64 tetrahedron grid is made up of 144 triangles, right? And 180 degrees in each triangle. And you just start to get these incredible numerological synchronicities, quote unquote synchronicities, right? But if you look around in our basic understanding of the universe, you start to see this pattern, right? You start to notice that 64 is very fundamental to the fabric of space-time itself, right? So there's what I was saying, the codons, our genetic coding. There are 64 codons that are, correspond to this 64-fold geometry. 64 hexagrams in the I Ching. It's the number of cells, right? This is the number of cells before we differentiate into cytoblast and, become a human being, or a fully, physical form of that. Chinese characters, Tantraism, the Hindu pantheon, the Christian pantheon, right? Like, that's not the Christian origin story, right? Like, it's just woven into everything. Jesus is in the party. Like, 64 is everywhere. And so you start to get this picture, start to kind of connect the dots, right? Just like we did with Metatron's cube. Like, how, like, there is absolutely no synchronicity, no quote unquote coincidence, right? About 64, this geometry we're going to draw today, and our DNA, our coding, and our cosmology to understanding the world. There's a geometric structure that's holding it all together. There's the phi ratio at our DNA. There's this geometry, and it's all, it's all the building blocks of how we understand our reality. And so when you're drawing this shape, right, this is how these are the Mayan runes connected with the hexagrams, and then the DNA are somewhere back there. The DNA was the first one. This is, I by no means a geneticist, obviously, but like to pause and understand that there's a geometric symbolism that corresponds to our fundamental physical reality is profound. And so when you're drawing this geometry, you're connecting with all that, and you're connecting with the vector equilibrium, right? That point of singularity, which is the point of stillness within us, within space-time, which is the sort of infinite potential in all things, infinite potential and energy, right? Again, tapping this point can liberate our consciousness, right? Liberate humanity from this idea that we have limited resources, liberate us and our consciousness, understanding that we are infinite beings, right? Taking off this limiting construct where we've been told that we are anything but that, so harnessing the geometry, connecting with the geometry, right? Using your breath and going deeply into that point of stillness, that point of singularity. This is the center point of our auric field, our energy body, our electromagnetic field, right? Everything is related to this shape in one way or another. And so I'm going to show you a couple of pieces of art that draw it all together with the vector equilibrium and the flower of life, because I really love, showing you guys different options. I love this one. It is in the form of the flower of life, but you don't, if you were to take away that underlying pattern, you would just have the dots and it would be sneaky and it would be the flower of life, but you wouldn't necessarily see it. And then we know that this is an infinitely repeating pattern. And I do show both graphic design as well as different hand painted art, but this is handmade. This is 1191. This is an incredible artist. Please do just go online and look at how different people have used the shape, right? This is crystallized. She's one of my favorite artists. She does an incredible job with dimensionality and highlighting the different shapes and bringing in the flower of life. And then this one is harder to do than you would think. This rainbow fade, which which petals are you going to focus on and how are you going to bring the shading into it, is a really fun one to try. And this shape is deceptively simple. You'll think, oh, it's just a bunch of circles, but really it takes a little practice. It's not as simple as you think, even though it's just circled. Again, crystallize, just going on Pinterest, going online if you haven't done so already, and just looking at how different people work with the different patterns, right? And like I said, we don't want to compare ourselves to graphic design, right? But I think that these two are hand drawn, which is outrageous. That level of detail in there, perfectly imperfect, no pressure, but these are just sort of next level artists. And then you can just go wild with your choices in what you focus on, kind of like, what is it, Ashley? It's not Ashley. I just can't remember. I'm sorry, because your name isn't fully on the screen. Just keep blanking on it. But like that mandala work where you can just get so detailed. And even though you have the fundamental pattern, you can just go patterns within patterns within patterns, so lots of fun stuff here. And does anybody have any thoughts or questions before we jump in there? It's a lot to comprehend. And we're gonna, in the second level, we're gonna draw both the 2D and the 3D of the 64 star tetrahedron. So we're gonna actually draw that shape, which is really fun. But today, it's the circular version. Does everybody feel ready to just get into drawing? All right. Okay. Thumbs up. Great. So let's just start with a little breathing intention, right? Bring your paper, landscape orientation in front of you. Maybe just nice blank canvas. Like, take a nice deep breath in this moment. Like, if you could just create anything you wanted to create, if you could just fund an energetic project and an intention, right? Just imagine generating some energy in this geometry for the intention of your choice. And so take a breath, connect with something you'd like to see more of in your life. Generate it in your feeling body, right? Just generate that that presence, right? What it would feel like if it were actually manifest in your life. Just breathe into that for a minute. Setting a nice intention. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. That's right. So dating it, February 14th, if you would like. I like to date them. I like to say, oh yeah, here's where I was at. Because a lot of times I'll look back and I'm working on the same thing that I was intending. And I mean that in the positive way, like it's the next iteration, like, oh, I've always been working on that and it keeps getting better and better. So if you would like to, noting the date, noting your intention, and then being able to remember that your geometry is infused with that intention. So every time you look at it, you're going to be reminded to anchor your intention into the third dimension. I'm not a big Valentine's Day person. I simply was remembering the date in my mind. So it's a good day to remember to love more. That's what I think. So, okay. All right. We are ready I don't mean to rush you, but let's do, I believe it's 1 inch radius, so 1 inch width on your compass. That's what I was trying to find. And we're gonna do the seed. I don't think, do we need to have a refresher on our seed of life? We're gonna, I'll come out of this, we don't need that. So once again, we're not at risk for going off the page on the right or left on the horizontal, but we do want to measure on the vertical. So finding your 5.5 inch mark on the vertical, right? And just starting at the center of the page, 1 inch width on your compass, 1 inch radius, and then going ahead and starting with your first circle at that center point. If I need to do the refresher with the seed, please let me know. Summer, I love that angle because then I can track a little bit the progress of everyone. Once we get to the seed, I'm going to actually show you the entire progression of what we're going to do, because you have, again, you have the choice to stop at any point that you're most comfortable with. Remember to breathe as you're drawing, combining the left brain and right brain, the mental and the physical, mental and experiential, deepening that intention. All right. Going well. Everybody look at, let's just say by the end of the 5th class, everybody's just like, yeah, seed of life, got this. So well done. And you can, I hope you all have been showing some of your drawings to your friends and going, look at what I'm doing, because you know they get inspired too, and it's so very doable. And it, you know, when you started out the class, you're like, we're not going to do that, but you did. You've done it.
Sorry, Nadi, did you say we could go out as far as we want to with the seed of life, or did you
No,
want us
just
to
stop with the seed. Yep, stop there, and then I'm gonna show you like all of the options, and then we'll just proceed, because honestly, it's just a bunch of circles. But like I said, there's a couple of things that make it complex, right? So we're gonna I will say right off the bat, you remember at the beginning when I was saying you want to draw consecutively clockwise, right? This is the reason, because once you start adding circles, it's really easy to get lost because of that repeating pattern. So everybody's got their seed. I'm going to go through the steps, all right? And then we're just going to choose how we want to go. So seed of life, right? So then it's honestly, I don't have it step by step because it's literally just starting the process again, finding a place to start and then keep going, right? So this will be the next layer that we do. Then, and I'm just showing you the whole thing, right? We're not there yet. So then one option is to stop. Oh yeah, Andrew, are you jumping in?
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. What are the dimensions again of this varsity life?
I can't hear you very well. Can you, I have my volume all the way up. Can you do anything to make yourself louder?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Is that
Okay.
better?
Yeah,
Okay,
awesome.
that's fantastic.
Perfect.
We should have this drawn now. We're drawing a seed of life is what we're doing. What are the dimensions?
Yeah, you just want to have the seed, and then right now I'm just going to like show you the whole progression of where we're going so that you have it, because I'm going to show you places where you could jump off and stop, you know, if you're feeling like sometimes this is actually kind of overwhelming. So I really like to tell anybody that you don't have to go all 4 rings. Now, once I've said that, it might be super easy for you. So, but I just like to invite each option and each iteration. So here you go. So once we've got this shape, right, then the next thing to do would be to open your compass to the width from the center to the outer point. And then you would draw 2 circles around, you know, that border that shape. And that's the zona pellucida. You remember, this is like the cell lining that contains that information. So that's one place to go. That's one place to pause. Now, You would, if we're not going to do the circle, not going to do the boundary there, you would be here,
Sorry,
right?
excuse me, Nadi.
Yes.
How did you get the, where did you place the center point of the compass to get the second ring? I understand the first.
Yeah. Anywhere you want.
Oh, anywhere
Right?
you want, you're right. You
Yep,
just- yeah, yeah,
anywhere
yeah,
you
yeah.
want. And
Yep, yep.
you just choose one of the divots. Choose a divot and then it'll get you the next one. Yeah. And I don't have it broken down into one step because it literally is you just choose a divot and go for it. Okay. So then, okay, so here we go. So then this would be is that the second? This is the third ring of circles, right? It starts to get really exciting. And then you can go around and get your fourth ring. And that's really exciting when all of those circles start to happen. And then, right, once you've got this, like I said, you can stop at any point. I don't mean to build it up too much. It's really doable. But once we've got this point, the way you find that circle again is to darken in the central consecutive, is that the right way to say? Just touching, they're not overlapping, right? There's 7 circles in the center, and that gives you the guideline for where to draw that boundary again, right? So this is similar, only more complex than the first one we did, than the one with the boundary earlier. You would draw this boundary, and then I want to emotionally prepare everyone, there's more erasing, right? So then you would erase outside the boundary, create another double line. And then there's a place where I will show us, it's a little bit more detailed. I'm showing you right now, I'm kind of speeding past the detail, but basically you erase the flower bits in the hexagon boundary, right? So these outer bits, you've got petals that form a hexagon, right? And so you're basically just going to erase the petal bits between those. And it's a lot while I'm explaining it, but once you just find your way and we'll get there. So, okay, startling. So simply put your compass point down at the first divot wherever you want. I recommend the bottom left. Recommend starting at the like 630 point and then building around like we do with the seed, right? So starting at the bottom and building around in the top. Let me just put that up for you so you can see it. Okay. Here we go. All right. So moving towards this. Now, a couple of things. Do give a moment of attention to where you're putting your compass, right? Like double check. Do you remember all, let me, hang on. I want to show you. This is a great point. I'm going to come out of screen share. So I'll just pause where you're at. So this is where I like to really get the technique, because you can get into this rhythm of making a circle and it just gets it kind of like mandala-esque. So I recommend doing your compass. Maybe you already all do this. And then when you get back to a complete circle, change your grip and focus, make more of an ability to really get precise, right? So you're not doing the circle, place, circle, place. It's going to pay off, trust me. And you can get into this lovely rhythm where you just are, you know, circle after circle. So it's going to help with precision. So give that a try as you're going along. And what will likely happen is that any quote unquote imprecision that we see on the original seed is just going to amplify with every ring, right? So you'll start to see a little wonkiness, and then a little more wonkiness, and then a little more as you build the layers, right? And so I have a theory, and we'll look to see if it happens at the end. Usually then I'm proven wrong when I say this always happens, is that the full expression of the flower of life, or however far you get, usually one half of the shape will be a little wonky and the other half will be a little bit more organized. And my theory is that it represents the hemispheres of our brain. Right? So we'll see how it turns out at the end of the class. So if you're feeling maxed out and you simply want to stop at this point, you're welcome to do so. if you want to move on to the other levels, pause now. And I'm just going to show the step to draw this little boundary, you know, this little, the boundary around this simple flower of life, right? So
Can
this
I
one,
ask a question?
yes.
So I haven't started anything because I'm not really sure. You were saying start at 6:30, and I don't really know how wide to do my compass. Are we getting to that part? Am I jumping ahead?
No,
Or because it seems like I'm supposed to already have a seed already done, but I'm like, I don't know how wide my compass is supposed to be, or
yes, yeah, you want to have the seed, and the width of your compass is going to be 1 inch wide.
1 inch. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then just go ahead and on this in the center of the page, right? 5.5 inch
Okay,
mark.
so you were saying 6:30 though, to do 6:30. What did
I
you mean by that?
I did. Here, I will show you. What I mean is that I start my seed right here at this bottom intersection, which on a clock is kind of like, well, it's more like 7 o'clock, right?
7. Oh,
So,
now that makes sense. Okay, I was
okay.
super confused.
Yes, well, thank you for clarifying, because
Thank
I did not give you any sort of reference to saying 6:30 on a clock. I probably just said
Thank
6:30.
you.
So
No worries.
thank
Thank
you. Does that feel clear now?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, once you've got your seed, I think this is more like 7 o'clock, right? 7 on the right? It's so interesting. You can divide up into the 12 hours, right? You can, because this is a 6-sided geometry, you can find a 12 o'clock, you know, each angle is going to correspond with one of the hours, which is so cool. So 7 o'clock, I'm basically saying I started the bottom left divot, right? Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. And then just jump into the circles whenever you're ready. So let's see. Looks like a couple of us, we're still working on it. Yeah, I don't want to rush you. I don't want to, if you feel confident, you can keep on going with circles, but I really do like to invite the pause point if you'd like to. It looks like this step where you open your compass to the full width. And if you're going to keep going with the circles, don't do this part, right? This is only if you want to stop here. You would open your compass starting with the center point of the shape, and then open to the width, you know, the outer perimeter of the circle. And then that would give you, well, I did 2 circles, but that would give you a boundary, right? You can do 1 circle and then open the compass like 1/4 of an inch and make another circle. There's no definitive width on that boundary. So this is the flower of life stage 1, right? Like to invite that, because sometimes this is a daunting shape. But if you're here and you want to go on, this is where it's literally more 6:30 on the clock, right? So 7 o'clock is where we started with that second round. This is more 6:30. I just simply start down here, always at the bottom left divot. Basically my starting point, no matter what time it is on the clock. And that's going to give you the next ring of circles. So is it too much for me to go to this ring? Does anybody on the previous ring? I don't want to move ahead. Want to make sure we're all cruising along with the circles in an easy way. It looks like, so now we've got the seed, and we've got that first ring. Now you're going into this, well, this second ring. This is the third ring. And are you feeling that rhythm? Right, like where you just put a circle down, you get the compass, and you know, here's the great place to like breathe between and after every circle. Nice, Chris. That was a really beautiful breath. Some of you are in my field of vision, but like, you know, finding that experiential connected place to this, right? Finding the relationship and that the shape is really alive. You know, kind of what Carly was saying. If this can really trip you out when you start seeing them in 3D. This one, because, you know, with the rainbow piece of art that we saw, like you can stop where we're going to stop to do the flower of life, but you can also just fill the whole page with this pattern, right? Because it's infinitely repeating. And as always, if you're inspired to do something, to stop, to keep going, you gave yourself this time. So feel free to listen to the creative muse. But it's really just one circle after the next, one step at a time. And what I want to encourage you to do is move consecutively all the way around until you're down at the bottom again. Don't stop to look because it'll look really weird and you'll think you're doing it wrong when likely you more than likely doing it correctly, right? So when you start at the bottom, make your way all around the shape until you stop to look at it. It builds strangely. And so if that happens to you, feel free to let me know that we need to stop the screen share and help you find where you dropped off. This is the one shape that is hardest to remedy online. This is the one where it really helps to be able to walk around and see your paper and see where there might be an extra circle. So we can do it. Sometimes it takes a minute. All right, looks like we're going strong. Just looking at a couple of you. All right, we got, right where you're drawing is just where they want to sit. It's just what happened. It just got to be right there. Oh, I love it. All right. Yep. Just peeking around. Good. And this is where I like to, like with this pattern, I really love to put on a nice piece of music, a nice frequency pattern in the background. This is also where I love to put positive programming on when I'm drawing a geometry, right? Whether it's like Abraham or Joe Dispenza or Bashar, like any of the power of attraction. I mean, you can go on and on into some of the positive programming material out there, but preoccupying your left brain with this patterning and then sort of opening to a more receptive state and taking some of that stuff in, All right, I'm leaving this up until I see that I've got heads up, and then we'll do a little check-in. Right, okay. Wonder, maybe we'll do that. Just gonna make it up as go along. How's it feeling? I'm gonna come out of screen share. How's it going? Get that pattern, right? So you're all drawing, so I'm asking you how you're doing, and I'm not gonna, it's looks like we're all doing it one circle at a time. Everybody's, oh yeah, Madeline.
I'm seeing where I skipped. I actually went like every other.
Okay.
So now I'm having to go.
That's one way to do it. Can we see yours though? Because it's really cool when you do that. So everyone just pause and look. You can, oh, you're only missing 2 of them.
Well, now I've gone back, but I realized I had done every other. So now I'm going back.
I see. Yes. Yeah. And that's a fun way to do it. That's fine. It's like it's actually a little harder though. So I just try to just, I know what you did. You did it divot to divot versus the end of the circle. Brilliant. Way to go back in. And then is everyone on that 3rd round still? Has anyone gone ahead to the 4th round? Does anybody need me to? So are we doing 3rd round? Okay. Good. All right. I'll pop this back on. Circle after circle. Taking a breath. How's it going, Summer? You done with that 3rd round?
I am done with the 3rd round.
Okay.
My compass likes to go like this sometimes, where
Oh,
it
yeah.
bends in on me. And really,
Yeah.
I just need to tighten it, and I don't have the tool to tighten it right now because I'm not at home.
Is that the middle knuckle part?
Yeah.
Yeah, but right there. Yeah. See, I just MacGyver the heck out of that. Just duct tape that straight out. You're not, I don't know
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Then it will have good idea.
just lock that down. No need to futz around with that bending. So that's what I do with that one. Yeah. Just go for it. Those, every compass has a trick to it. Like that's one of the weak points. this one, if you swap out the pencil a lot, this little bit gets kind of weak and it loosens easily. So then you got to do a rubber band on that one. Like each compass has its own persnickety ways, and just break the rules, do what you got to do to get the job done. True in life. All right, so you've got third round, so you can you could just, I'm not advocating breaking any rules, clearly. You can just start up, go for that fourth round. Can I see your third round though? You want to show it and see what you got? Let's see, we got 3 rounds there. Oh boy.
Let
All
me
right.
go like this.
Yeah. Lovely.
So
Mm-hmm.
I have a little bit of overlapping right here, and then I
Mhm.
did this circle too small
Mm-hmm.
because it bumped a couple times on me, and
Yeah. Yeah,
that's all
but that's
right.
just part of the compass. Can I see, will you hold it up because I want to make sure. Yeah, do that. Oh yeah, that is harder. Come a little closer. Okay.
Can you
I
see it?
Yeah, I think that actually, okay, pull it back a little bit.
It's
Hang
so
on.
the lighting in here is not the greatest.
Yeah, it looks like you've got all of them. You've got all of them. Yeah.
I do have all of them. I made
Mhm.
sure I was like, okay, did I get 1, 2, 3 circles? Wait, oh, don't go too far.
Nice. And you can tell your compass, it's just like, because some are dark and some are light, which is in that lighting, it's hard to see, but you've got everything. So well done. And then go for it. Just launch right into that fourth round. How's it going, Chris? That's a big exhale.
I think,
Hang on, let me spotlight you. Brilliant. Perfect.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Okay, great. I did have to erase. I don't know what happened, but something went wonky. I erased and then I had to retrace a few, but
Okay.
Got it.
That's par for the course. Well done. All
Okay.
right. So then you could start at the 6:30 point. Just
And
go for the
then
next rounds, right?
okay.
Yep. Just keep going. Yep. All right. Anybody else want to check in? You feel solid before you go on to the next level? All right. Brooke, are you coming off? Are you come? Oh, hang on, Karen. Let's okay. All right. Brooke, yeah, Brooke was working on it. Just hang on a second. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay.
Uh,
God, I love the blue. Oh, hold it up a little higher. Yeah, you got everything.
okay, I don't even know,
Perfect.
I don't know how many,
Oh, right.
No.
Okay, hold it up one more time.
I had to restart because I had my compass malfunction too, so
Yeah.
1, 2,
One
yeah,
more rounds. One more rounds for you. Yes.
okay, 1 more.
Yes. All right. Well
Thank-
done. Yeah. You should stay on the page with the 1-inch radius. It should stay on the page. All right. And then Karen, you were popping in. Let's see. Did you want to hang on a second. All right. Yeah. And you're building. Yeah.
Right there. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Are you on the 4th round? Looks like you're on the 4th round.
I have no idea. I have not been doing it in counterclockwise. I'm just like doing it and filling in where I need to. And
Okay. Doing it that way, you'll get the shape. Yeah. You just
Okay.
go for it, and then we'll find those central circles in order to make the whole shape. So just keep going. You're doing great. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll work out. Perfect. Okay. Anybody else want a check-in? Everybody feeling okay? Leiko, how's it going? It's a lot of circles with the wrist like that, body holding up.
I think I started on the 4th circle. Yeah.
Cool. All
I
right.
think I'm on the 4th round. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. You guys are doing great. Okay. Let's see. Carly, Andrew, and is it just, this is driving me nuts. Is it Ashley? I can't, because only Andrew's name is on the screen, and I don't want to get it wrong, and I think I am. Don't think it's Ashley. Is it Ashlyn? Anyway, you guys are rocking it, I'm sure. Okay. Great. So I'll go back into the 4th round of the circles. Here's our third round. And here it just starts to look epic, right? We've got this formation. It's so beautiful, just like this. The symmetry, the circles. We don't do the 64 in this class, but you'll see like the circles feel so different than the lines. It's so incredible to spend a full immersion drawing into this round curvature of the space. All right, so fourth round, looking at everybody, looking good. Professional now. All right. Just want to check on that. Great. Okay. You guys do that. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, coming back. Needed a bio break. Okay, how's everyone doing? Still going. It's so good. And remember, this is like, here we have this two-dimensional shape on the paper, right? But this is really like your cells are celebrating. There's like a little bit of a buzz going and you're generating some energy and remembering the power of the symmetry here, and you're aligning your system. You're aligning the hemispheres of your brain, which is why we always feel a little altered after drawing sacred geometry, right? So I think that's part of what makes it sacred too, is that it's a little trippy, accessing other states of consciousness somehow in that magical way. It's a little bit of a sober high. All right. Good, got everybody's concentration here. And if if you get to the full circle, if you've got your complete full expression of the flower of life, well done. Just breathe with this thing. See if you can see it in a 3D way, just like that slide that we saw where it's, really pops the spheres. You just play with your field of perception. Try not to focus on any of the imperfections and places that you think it could be better. Or if you have noticed that already, then just find something that you really like about it and just celebrate this cool thing that you did and this amazing thing, right? You should take a picture. If you get to this point, you should take a picture because it looks really cool. Looks really different in your camera and you can show it off to people. But just breathe with this thing. It's so beautiful. You started out in the first class drawing the seed and now it's just turned into this, which is great. All right, so if you've already got your seed, just go ahead and breathe with it. All right. What do you think, Brooke? You got all four rounds? Yeah, we don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me after a while you get a little bit jumbled, right? So many circles. Yeah.
Cattywampus
Hang on.
over in here.
Yeah. Okay, Brooke, don't go anywhere. You are demonstrating what I was talking. Don't hold it up for a second if you don't mind me using you as an example.
No.
So if you can see to me, it looks like the dividing place is actually on the vertical, but one half, your left half, is a little more organized than the right half.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's so far out. It just happens every time. And I really do believe that, you know, our one hemisphere of our brain is more emphasized. And yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah, I love that. All right, so it looks like you got it to me. That's all 4 rounds. I don't know, it's so cattywampus to me. All right, let's see. Summer's counting, and I believe there should be 5 circle rounds on each side. Yep, awesome if you got that. Yep, 5 on each side. Beautiful.
How many circles are on the outside now? How many circles should be on the perimeter of what we have now?
Well, I want to say 30.
If-
Hang on.
If I went. and
Yeah.
counted Bumps.
How many are there? Oh gosh, I'm staring at one right now. So that's 5 and that's 3. You know what, my brain, can somebody else count right there?
24.
24. Oh, there you go. 24 makes sense. Okay. All right. Anybody feel like they want to do a show and tell? Do you feel like you're there? Do you need any? All right, Madeline's got it. All right. Yeah, Madeline?
I think it worked out.
All right,
I
let's
had to go-
see.
So I used finding where I was missing petals to fill, like that's kind of how I could tell, was making sure all of the petals had 5 or 6. I
Nice.
guess.
Yeah, when they have 6 each, right?
Yeah.
That's the perfect way. And so you are demonstrating another example of it where it's, to me, it's either perfectly vertical or it's a little bit, the halfway mark is a little bit tilted to the right. I hope I'm saying this as we see it, but they might not be wonky, but one half will be darker and the other half will be lighter. Isn't that
Interesting.
wild?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't handle it. It's just so amazing how that shows up. Beautiful, really lovely. Nicely. This is not an easy thing. You guys have done a lovely job. Yeah. Chris, how's it going? You got big smiles there, nice breaths. Hang on, you want to come off mute and tell us how you're doing? Oh, yeah. Lovely.
Come off mute. I forgot to come off mute.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's good.
Sure is. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so cool.
I'm glad I
So
came
cool.
tonight.
I'm so glad.
I really
Yeah.
questioned whether I was going to make it, and I'm really glad I'm here. So thank
I'm
you.
really glad you are too. Well done. Stress management, sacred geometry, stress management. Like you have not thought about anything else for the last half hour.
No, it's that, remember the first class I had said that I wanted to find something where I felt like I get into flow.
Yeah.
Everything else drops away.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling that tonight. So thank you. It feels like a gift.
I'm so glad. It's the gift of the universe, right? But it's such a cool feedback loop. You gave yourself that gift, right? I love it. Yeah. It's a great meditation tool. I mean, literally, because you have to focus and everything else is going away. Awesome. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Have you ever drawn this instead of using a compass, using a glass or something? Just use that. I think that would solve some of my.
Which compass do you have there? Is that, oh, what's happening with it? Is it loosening up?
Yeah, and it's okay. I
Yeah.
have another one I could be using.
Just try another one. You know, it's sort of trial and error, but yes, what you're talking about is using a template.
Yeah.
And absolutely, the only thing that's tricky about it is to find the center, right? Like if you have an opaque surface, but it makes too big of a shape. But what I love to do are deli container lids, because you can poke a hole in it, but that makes a huge shape. So yeah, it works that way too. All right. So Summer, you feeling good? Karen, we got our 4, so now I can show you the next step. We good? Okay. Karen, you look tentative. You good? Okay. All right. So Now I'll show you the way that I did it. You do not have to darken in these circles as much as I did, right? You can just darken them. Oopsies, what happened? You can just darken them in enough to differentiate them, right? Because this is what's going to show us, this is how we find that circle, right? So here's, I'll show you the next step. This is what you're getting to, is you're getting the, you're finding where to draw this circle, right? Because you can't just look at it and do it. So the way to do it is to highlight the center circle. You can do it, you know, just enough so that you can find your way. Highlight the center circle and then the 6 adjacent circles, right? So the full circles. And you can maybe see how if you stopped at just 3 rings, you would still have this shape, right? You'll just have one less detail in the full flower, right? It's so cool. It's hard to explain. You would just be a few petals short of the full boundary, right? So once you've found these, you know, linear adjacent circles, it's going to be on the vertical axis and then the 2 diagonal axes, right? Then you're just going to open your compass. You'd put the point at the center and then open it to the outer perimeter, right? The perimeter of the points, each points of the circle. One trick I like to do is I'll open the compass to that width, right? And then I'll sort of touch, I'll go around and I'll touch on each 6 points and I'll kind of fudge the compass a little bit if I need to get it more precise of a boundary, right? Where it doesn't overlap on some and, you know, under on and go under on the others, right? So that's a place again where you can just kind of find your way towards the most symmetrical circle that you can. So this is what you'll get. Now, mind you, I don't have those center circles darkened in here, so ours will look a little different. Then you open the compass to that width, right? Compass point going at the center, opening it out to the boundary there, the perimeter of the one of the 6 circles. And you'll see it aligns with the center of that circle that overlaps, right? The point is going to correspond with the center of those outer circles. And then you want to give yourself that center ring, right? And then here's the hard part after all that diligent work. Nobody likes to do this part. Oh, it's erased. You don't have to if you don't want to. I know it's just wrong. But this is what, you know, if you want to go full on to get that shape, you want to erase the outer boundaries, or sorry, the outer circles just beyond this perimeter, zona pellucida, the membrane that holds all of the information internally, right? Oh, just something interesting that happens when you've invested all of that time in all of the either circles or guidelines like we did with the phi last week, you know, and then to have to erase, it just has a strange feeling of loss sometimes. So then drawing that big circle, beautiful, and erasing the outside. Yep. Lots of good erasing. There we go. And also, if you don't want to, you can leave them. But you'll get the full flower this way as well. I think it's worth doing it fully this way at least once so that you can see the shape in its fullness. And again, you know, it's such a balance between doing it with a class and then going and doing it in your own pace and your own time. Right. So lots of good erasing. Looks really wonderful. Everybody's going for it. All right. Love it. Summer, that is such a great angle because then I can pace with your erasing. Lovely. I do, yeah, I miss teaching live. It's true. I mean, I can't be with everyone in Portland, so it's a wonderful bonus that way, but just walking around and seeing everybody's geometry as they're drawing, you know, I loved that. I get to do that here. There's a Yavapai Community College, and I do teach in person here, but you know, most of my classes are online. Once you've got that outer information, once you've got those outer circles erased, then you're just gonna open your compass a little bit more, right? Like tiny margin, and draw a second circle, which gives the kind of illusion of depth, right? It gives you the illusion of a full boundary. So don't rush if you're still erasing, no problem. It's just the next step is the drawing that second boundary. And you don't have to draw that second boundary. Like you could leave it here because this is pretty cool in and of itself. You just typically see the flower of life with that like sort of full frame piece, right? The cell wall, the zona pellucida. All right. Brooke, how is that like is that a satisfied look or okay? Kind of yes, kind of no. All right. Great. Wonderful. So we've got this. Okay. Still erasing. I want to show everyone the detail of what we're going to be erasing next. So wherever you are, let me see. Where's everybody at? Is everybody mostly done erasing? All right. Is that mostly done erasing? Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back and forth so that you can see, but it's kind of tricky to see it at first, and then it'll get easier. So Chris, I don't want to rush you. Are you all set for the details? You're good? Okay. All right. So what we're going to be doing is, I'll show you this way and then we'll go back. So here you've got 6 sides, right? You've got the full petals are creating a boundary wall. And so we're erasing between the outer boundary and those petal lines, right? So you can see here, it's these, there's 4 lines, there's 4 bits. Oh my gosh, my cat. And so you're erasing these little 4 lines between the zona pellucida boundary, and then the petal boundary, right? So the petals make their own organic boundary that comes in, you know, inside of the circle. Looks like you guys are finding it. Is anybody having a hard time? It's these. It takes a minute visually, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 8 lines. There's 4 off of every center of the outer boundary. Looks like we're getting it. So here's the full, we had the full expression, and then this is the full expression as contained within the zona pellucida. But these, that full expression, and then within the circle, this is, you'll see this as it, you know, in biology, it literally is the last moment, the 64 cell division. It's the last moment before, you know, it builds into cellular structure of a human being. So it's a worthy contemplation. There's 64 star tetrahedron is related to the 64 codons, because it's kind of like the phi. It's kind of like all of it. It really begs the question of like, how did all that happen? Like, where's the God here? You know, where's the organizing principle? And that sort of existential contemplation that the geometry supports, you know, and invites, because it's just, there's, you know, there's no such thing as coincidence. It's fully synchronicity. And I feel they're clues, right? It's a clue to the larger fabric of space-time. And so we're just kind of decoding clues. Yeah. Looking good. Look at what you guys have done today. This is a good use of a Wednesday evening. Really nicely done. Yeah. Okay, what are we doing time-wise? Okay. Okay, so it's 6:30. So then I think we're going to just look at cymatics really quickly, because I don't want us to do the full geometry. I think it's 15 minutes. I'm not feeling sonic geometry. Okay, so let's see. Are we ready? We there? We erasing still? Okay. Should do a little show and tell, and then we'll do a brief moment of cymatics. Hang on, hold on 1 second as you guys are doing that. I'm gonna look at what I wanna find our I'm gonna find cymatics and show you guys what is awesome about cymatics. Okay. So I'm gonna come out of that, and then I need to find you guys again. There we are. Okay. Can we do a little show and tell before we go into the frequency geometry of sound? Look at what you guys did. Can you believe that? It's fabulous. Even if you're off a little bit, it's just incredible. All right, somebody start us off. This is so beautiful. Yeah, Summer, let's see it.
Okay.
Okay,
So
hang on.
maybe I'll go like
wait,
this.
okay, hang on a second. Okay, here you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
where am I? I'm gonna see if I can turn my camera around.
Okay.
How do I do it?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Woohoo!
There's my arm.
Wow. So what'd you do? Wow, yeah.
So I am trying to darken in the lines a little bit
Uh-huh.
where you can't really see them because they're super light.
Mhm.
And try to fix a little bit where it has overlapped
Mhm.
to just kind of like bring it all together a little more. And then when we had the big one still,
Mhm.
I drew the outer circles, and then I
Yes.
instead of drawing 2, I drew 3 circles around it.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right, because you can get the basic structure and then you can just riff, and that's what art is, right? I love it.
Yeah.
The thing is before the erasing, right, you can actually just boundary it like you did, and that's
Yeah.
just more, it's just the next expression of this shape, right? And it's an infinitely repeating pattern. Very
Right.
cool. Very cool.
Hooray.
Yeah, I love it. And then with the 3 rings in the
Mhm.
center there, then you've got 2, with the 3 lines, you've got 2 rings, which can be its own.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, Madeline, were you just about to jump in too? I didn't, yep. Okay, let's see it. Oh, yes. What do you think?
Good. So I also was trying to go back and darken all the 1-inch circles.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just really going back and darkening them in, because the border part after you erase
Mm-hmm.
kind of light in here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the 7 that you highlighted originally to get the
Mhm.
circle, and then it's like, oh, I'll go back and make them uniform, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely though. So lovely. What do you think? How's your experience?
Good. I want to try some of the other steps, different iterations. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Andrew, you guys coming off screen, looks like. All right.
Yes,
Is that a yes? Okay.
And it's
Let's see.
Alicia. Yeah, you were close.
Alicia, see, I knew it wasn't right. Thank you. Ah, love it. What do you think?
I think I did it.
You did. You
It
did.
was confusing, but I'm happy to be able to do this. I've always wanted to be able to draw the
Mhm.
flower.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to do more of this.
Awesome. Well, whatever parts were confusing, you got it perfectly. So well done.
Thank you.
Yours has a dimensionality in there already, which is super cool. It looks, I'm not going to be able to describe it. It looks like it's coming forward on the diagonal to me when I see it. Like it's super cool. Because it's the
And
same
you were
shape.
right, like one half becomes completely unbalanced. Like my flowers were, I think my compass might have moved too or something, because it just all went Pandalarian at one point, and so I was like, okay, we'll just be right.
Right, but it's like it's consistent that it shows up like 9 out of 10 times where that one side is very different than the other. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm wondering, because how you start at about 6:30, I'm wondering if you actually rotate the other way, if the imbalances then would occur on the other side.
I love it. And now you have to do it just to find out.
Clearly, yes.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Andrew, how about you? Where did you decide to go with all this?
Show it, so beautiful.
It went a little chaotic for a minute, and I think I went too far. But since we're erasing, it came out fine. It's a little bigger than the rest of y'all.
Okay, hang on. Just hold it still for a second over that and then scoot a little bit to your left. Yeah.
There
Oh, yes. You went one,
too far.
but
Yeah.
look, it's beautiful. How can we say what's
Oh
too
yeah,
far or
it's
not?
great. Like
Yeah.
I'm fine, but like if we were to go 1 and then 2, I think it would be right there.
Yep, you got
That's
it.
all right.
You
So
got it.
beautiful.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, thank you.
I'll run and grab mine because I did one that's just exactly like yours. So yeah, you get a little bit, you go wherever you want to go, man. Isn't that cool? That's why I try to say at the beginning, it's like you can do many different iterations, and that is just stunning.
Well, the amuses me too how often, like, I find myself off track when you think you've done something incorrect, and you can still pull it off.
Yeah.
Kind of got to keep moving.
Nice analogy, right? Nice life lesson here, a little metaphor in the geometry. Nice. Yeah. Thank you. Cool. Hang on one second. Everybody just breathe with your shape. I'm gonna go grab mine that I think looks like yours. So hang on a second. I'll just jump in. Oh, boy, dropping everything. Okay. So it's a little different, but it's also a little of the same. So oh geez, I'm sorry. So it's the 64, and I just brought the boundary out. Oh, sorry. And then the way I like kind of draw them every time is, so I drew it on the gold piece and then I cut it out and then it's overlaid on the back, right? So that just seems to be the way that I like to do them, is to get that dimensionality. So yeah, Andrew, just one more, the boundary outside of one more around, but you got it. We're on the same page there. So awesome. God, it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's just so amazing. I never get tired of it. It's so beautiful.
What is that made of? You
It's
cut
just
the paper?
it's just the paper at Michael's, those 12-inch papers, and so I X-Acto knife cut it out, and I stopped doing it because my fingers hurt after a few years. It's a lot of, it's like Japanese paper cutting, it's that art form.
So you had to draw it precisely and then cut it precisely.
Yes, to some degree. Yeah. And if you want to, I'm not sure if we did this, and I think somebody brought this up like early on. If you want to give it that boundary, the way you want to draw it is you'll draw a circle and then shorten your compass. And then to make a ring, to make a thick wall. You cannot, I mean, you can, but you will lose the shape if you make the second ring on the outside. So you want to shorten your compass to make a thicker ring, and you want to go inside of the shape. I hope that makes sense, because that's how it'll stay consistent. Okay, great. So anybody else want to, let's see, before we look at cymatics. Chris, did you show us yours? Are you jumping in? Okay, hang on, let me spotlight you. All right. Woohoo, what do you think?
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit it. I didn't love that I had to erase all those beautiful shapes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm very happy with what's left after the erasing.
Nice. Love it. And the thing is because we learn it this way, then you know what you want to do next time, right? You can go for that full, and you can do the circle that encloses the whole thing. So love it. All right, thank you. Let's see, anybody else? Carly, oh my gosh, there's color already. Let's see. All right, what do you got? Oh yeah, kind of like what Summer was doing. How do you like it?
I like it. I didn't feel like erasing, so instead I just colored over everything.
Mhm. Nice, nice. Right, so there's just layers in there.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually did the same thing that Andrew did. I went like really far out. I just colored over everything.
Nice. And there's some nice color therapy in there, some beautiful, oh, you went out before I did. Reveals of resonance, right? Whatever color frequency that we're feeling in ourselves and our being. I've moved away from the construct of Western mental health, right? But there is something so beautifully revealing about our art choices, right? And whether we have boundaries or we're boundaryless or we're sort of repeating or we're staying contained, like whichever expression is usually really powerful to look at. So thank you for sharing your expressions here. Let's see. Okay. So Leiko or Karen, if you'd like to, would love to see it. Leiko's got to get her background off there.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. That's right. Okay. So we'll get Leiko as she's undoing her screen, and then Karen will just see yours, and then I think we'll have enough time for this. It's just a teeny second bit, so do that. Oh, I'm naturally taking off something. That's great. Okay, let's see it. Yep, perfect.
Okay.
All right. Yay, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
All right,
kind
what
of-
do you think?
it's great. I kind of erased too much, so I had to go back and just fudge,
Mhm.
all the little tips. But that was neat. I already drew the first ring around, like when you did that, when you said to stop there. And I drew the second ring, so I was drawing it all over there the whole time, and and I went off really far on one side, but since we had to erase it, it didn't matter. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I thought that was really awesome. And this is one of my favorite shapes. I'm so happy I finally got to learn how to draw it. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Right. And you can, it's any different iteration. Wow. Yours has, I can so like, they just look so three-dimensional. They just see spheres with yours. It's so like packed spheres. So great. And then you've got the idea for all of the different iterations, right? Like, okay, I want to stop here. And you can actually, if you do that first ring, right? The seed and then the first ring, and then you do the boundary around that, you can cheat. You can totally cheat without the circle points. You can like kind of, you can put your point down and then you can sort of touch the point. You can figure out how to make the not a half arc, but the little half of the circle that you need to make the boundary, right? So all sorts of ways to do that. Thank you. And then Karen, you want to round us off here? How's it going?
I'm going to round you off with a no-show because it didn't work out, the compass. So I'll work on it later.
Okay, that's, the compass is just, it's its own challenge. So you got the gist though, right? You got the feeling of it. Yeah, all right. Second time around, sometimes.
I'll work on it.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for diligence. Thank you for your diligence and perseverance. I want to show us cymatics really quickly, right? It's like a little 10-minute segment with a 3-minute video, and then we'll just come out and do closing thoughts. So cymatics is sound in form. So I'll show you a couple of examples. You might have seen them before. You guys have to go away. So jump in with your sound if you, where is it? I opened it up. Hang on a second. Where's my cymatics? I could have sworn it was open. Is that it? Nope. Bear with me. Must have closed it out. So cymatics, there's a bunch of, like, this isn't so much new information, but one of the things I really like to encourage people to do is to look into frequency music, right? If you don't know that already, it's different harmonic frequencies that resonate with our biofrequency, right? Like our cycles per second when I say frequency, right? So we're coming back to everything being vibration. And then the vibrations are of a certain frequency, cycles per second, meaning hertz. And then, of course, we go on to get the geometry. But if we stay with frequency for a moment, then if you use something called a cymoscope and you put sound frequencies with a material substance, you will get patterns that are geometric, which are representing and showing us the structure. We'll see that in a second. The structure of frequency, right? So here in these 12 shapes are the chords, right? These are A sharp, F sharp, C, and D, and they all create a hexagonal geometry, right? Like some version of a 6-sided or a 12-sided, some manifestation of geometry, right? So it's super cool because it brings the invisible patterns into the visible through the cymoscope, through measuring the frequency. This, I'm not quite sure about this. I like to think this is true, but these are the tones of the planets and the sun and the moon, right? So if we say everything, we know that Earth has a tone. It's the resonance. It's the Schumann resonance. Maybe you've heard of that. The frequency is 432 cycles per second on that scale, on a planetary scale, right? So it's this micro and macro, measuring the different sound waves in geometric form, right? So actually seeing how things manifest. I want to go back to this slide right here. This is the harmonics of 432 cycles per second versus 440. So 432 cycles per second is a harmonic frequency, right? It's part of a solfeggio range, which is its own scale. It's a harmonic scale. And all of our instrumentation, all of our instruments used to be tuned to 432 cycles per second, which I think is an A sharp. Somewhere, here's this slide, somewhere in World War II, Nazi Germany was playing around with psychological warfare versus like artillery and physical war, right? Various different kinds of war. So psychological warfare. And they changed, this is a theory, I believe it's true. The universal tuning measure changed to 440 hertz instead of 432, right? And so that's just 8 degrees, right? And that subtle shift is enough to deharmonize our systems, right? So we have tiny little shifts like that. And then if you start to, imperceptible, none of us would notice, right? We don't notice 5G unless we start to pay attention to it. We don't notice the radio frequencies. Like there's so much static that deharmonizes our systems. And so when you start to tune into those large scale harmonics, the meta resonance of frequency, it becomes imperative to tune into your environment and learn what frequencies are influencing you. Oh my God, Chris, that's adorable. So now we're going to watch this video. We're going to watch a little video that shows a bunch of different ways of measuring frequency into form. But I like to surround myself with frequency videos and music, background music. I will send you a couple in the follow-up video, and it's just harmonizing. It just creates a gentle background tone, and I love it. I would usually have silence anymore because I just love the softness of these different tones. So optimized, here we go, back to this. Yes. All right, here we go. Everybody can hear it playing, the music? Hope so. Somebody tell me if you can't, or I will assume that we can. basically they match frequencies and start to see how it shows up. I do not understand this one at all. It blows my mind. So the tuning fork is at 440, and then the speaker starts playing a 440 frequency. I don't even get that one, ever. This one I get. So they've got this table, this top, right? This plate that is resonating at these different frequencies. And it creates different geometries. And some of you may have seen this online. This is pretty well known. But if not, this is sound in form. And then there's harmonic frequencies, and there's also disharmonic frequencies that wouldn't take a geometric pattern. Isn't that cool? Right, so that's material vibrating, matching and demonstrating. This one also blows my mind. Not an endorsement for Coca-Cola by any means. How cool is that? Magic. It's sound magic. We don't understand the power of frequency in our world. Healing frequencies, binaural beats that align the hemispheres of our brains, pulse magnetic frequencies. We're fairly primitive. But this is the way to harmonize. Frequency harmonizes. And disease is out of balance, out of harmony. So frequency medicine, technology bring us back into harmony. I'm just gonna skip this one. I think it's a little boring. Plus we're a little out of time. Okay, this is my favorite one though. All right. Okay, enough of the lasers. Okay, here we go. The water's up to the speaker, and it takes this pattern with each frequency. Because water is frequency, right? And we're 70% water. Like, how have we not been given this information? We know how. All right, and I just think we're gonna pause that. All right, so we're gonna pause after that one, but it just keeps getting cooler and cooler. But I wanna give us a minute to do closing thoughts. We've completed level 5 weeks of just incredible exploration. You all are just brave geometry knots, geometrists, brave new geometrists. Please, I would love to hear, I'd love for you to share with your fellow intrepid travelers thoughts on the whole process, reflections on yourself and your shifts, any shifts that you've seen, or just saying goodbye for now. Anybody want to start us off? Madeline says, yes. Thumbs up. All right. Thumbs up.
I just want to say, you said at the beginning that we might start having dreams, and I have constant geometric dreams now. And I also find that if I'm restless, I just start thinking about shapes and going through the steps of shapes, and it's very calming, like in a restless sleep. So it's in there for sure.
Oh, in there. So you really noticed a shift in your dream time.
Just whole dreams of shapes. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, I'm jealous. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I wonder, have you played around with putting one under your pillow at all? Or you just probably didn't need to?
No, but I
Yeah.
do have it out in my room and my bedroom, so I can see it throughout the day,
Nice.
whatever I'm working on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Love it. Thank you so much. The Shri, I've got like 30 of them. And if I said this before already, forgive me, but I had them all in my pad of paper, right? And they just started screaming at me. They're like, we're doing no good in there. Like, put them up, get all your geometry up so that it can work with you, you know.
Good
Awesome.
idea. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. All right. Thank you. Let's see. Who's next?
I'll go next.
All right. Hi there.
So I've also been dreaming a lot more. Like, if not every night, multiple times a night. It's like I'm having a lot of dreams. They're not like sacred geometry dreams, but my dreams have come alive. And learning for me how, because I'm a perfectionist, so I like things to be perfectly aligned, and when I don't see perfect alignment, I get frustrated, and so that's something that I've had to work on through drawing. And you know, just to work on the letting go. Let it be kind of phase, you know.
Yeah.
Something else that I thought was cool that I could say about the frequencies is I sell singing bowls at my work, and each singing bowl is a different note, and each note vibrates to a certain frequency. And then another thing that they that I've learned is each frequency and note is a different color, and so it works with a different chakra. And so the heart chakra is 432 frequency, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's cool.
It's really cool. And thanks for the happy thought of New Ren, because I just love it there so much. But yes, colors have frequencies, our bodies have frequencies, sound has right, and we're so out of balance that listening to these things brings us back in balance. Like the geometry, crop circles, like all of the things that I love are just these gentle tools, you know, just getting back online. Thank you, Summer. It's been so awesome having you here. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Something that I have always found interesting is frequencies and how they display themselves in shape. I remember one of the things I really love to do when traveling is go into old churches and old, like, you know, 800-year-old buildings and look at the floor, because they have the most interesting patterns on them. And I'm wondering if they knew back then the power of each of these vibrations. And I am a massage therapist, and I have a transducer speaker on my table so that I can run different frequencies through that speaker. Oftentimes I do 528 hertz because it's for cellular regeneration. And I think, like what you're saying, is we don't know how these other frequencies are affecting us. The sound of our microwave, the sound of, you know, the heater running, our printer, the doorbell. I mean, there's so many sounds that we can hear, much less the sounds that we don't hear, that are affecting us. So I'm curious, you know, different ways to kind of arm ourselves or protect ourselves from all that. I don't know. Curious as to your thoughts on all that.
Yeah, lots of thoughts, but they don't involve the city dwellings. Yeah,
True,
no,
right?
right, and there's so many sounds, but just you putting 528 is so soothing. The different frequencies just help tune out the disharmonic ones, you know. Yeah,
Got it. Love that. Thank you.
yeah. Love what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew, by proxy, you gotta go now. Closing thoughts there?
It's been a lovely class. I'm looking forward to taking the next.
Oh, I can't hear you. Will you do it one more time? Will you, there you go.
Yeah, does that mean better?
Thank you.
Maybe now. Yeah. Yeah, the class has been lovely. I often find myself doing this at work, drawing, and I get a lot of students coming. I work in enrollment at PCC, so I'm like the one who registers y'all over the phone, and I get it. Apologies, it's such a mess. Get me started. But yeah, the class has been great. I get to draw there. They love it. My coworkers love it. I find it to be really relaxing. It's interesting how much of this kind of comes into perfection too, because even some of my coworkers are like, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm too much of a perfectionist," or "I'm impatient." That was another one, and I'm all like, "How does that even come into this?" And I kind of get it because you want to finish and keep going, but it's yeah, it's a lovely process. It is strange how things come up in your dreams and it affects those as well, or how you just get lost in the side of them. Or yeah, the things that it might be opening up and affecting us, so on a whole nother level of conscious. Yeah, very trippy stuff. Thank you for the introduction.
Lovely. Yeah, very trippy stuff. But beautiful reflections on all of it, right? Patience, just like it's all in there. And I so appreciate hearing all of you and your sort of eloquent reflections. Thank you for bringing all of that into the wrap up. I appreciate that. It's been lovely having you here, and it's PCC registration. Amen. So all right, thank you. Let's see who else we got. A few more. We might go a minute over or two, but it's, closing thoughts are so invaluable. Oh my God, your cat is so adorable. Yeah, Chris, we got dogs, we got cats. All right,
Yeah.
how you doing?
I'm good. I just want to reiterate what I talked about earlier and the feeling of that flow state. That is such a gift. And it's so nice. Like my brain is used in a different way for work. And this has been just such a nice space to use my brain in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling that I was going to feel kind of an alignment with this, with sacred geometry, and that instinct was correct. And I do also want to just like, I'm also an educator, and so your education style is really accessible and so gentle, and I really liked watching you, the way that you're teaching different people. Everybody approaches learning in a different way, and you really did match a lot of differentiated for different styles of learning. And so I really appreciated your gentle style on that. So thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to the next 5 weeks with this. And then the other thing is, I have been in the month of February. I was doing meditation with binaural beats and frequencies. So every morning I'm doing 10 minutes with it, and just that just came up, kind of made me feel a little like, oh, more alignment. So yeah, so gratitude for all of it.
Oh, thank you so much. Gratitude as well. Thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate it. That's the highest compliment, because I think part of why this class works is because the geometry is engaging anywhere at any time. So different styles and different patterns can all fit. And it's really important to thank you for that feedback. I feel like there's a lot of very high values in the way I teach. So I appreciate that. Yeah. And binaural beats to start the day. Okay, big deal. That's a good practice. All right. Let's see. Thank you so much. So we've got Leiko, Karen, and Brooke. Who's oh, Claus. Yeah, Karen. All right.
I just want to thank you so much for these amazing classes, and I echo what Chris said. Your teaching style is welcoming and engaging, and a wonderful way to end the evening.
No.
And it's the whole process has opened my eyes, or just feeling a different frequency with the world around me. And a lot has been coming through with dreams. Some old stuff that I didn't realize was there has been coming through, which I attribute to what's happening as I'm drawing, because it's some old stuff that I didn't even really quite realize. So it's another layer. So I thank you, and I look forward to the next 5 sessions.
Yeah, thank you for speaking to that. Things come up in that healing process, in that harmonizing process. We typically have to see the disharmony. Thank you for speaking to that, because it really is true. And to keep it in that larger perspective of, oh, this is healing, this is rebalancing, is really great. Really, really smart approach. Yeah. Nice. Thank you. And then you reminded me of something that I'm going to have to remember. Lako, Brooke, how you doing? You wanna, because you're off mute. Yeah.
Kat is very involved in tonight's class. I appreciate the I'm interested in the juxtaposition of science and art and how they intertwine, and so that I can see the geometry with the science, and then I want to incorporate that somehow into art where it may not look like the seed of life, but it'll have the proportions, like the golden proportion that we did last week, that kind of thing. And then the discussion on the frequencies, it makes me wonder if that has something to do with why some people are attracted to sorry, he's really being a pain. Why people are attracted to certain types of music.
Yeah.
The tempos, the volume, and the frequencies, and all of that. Why I don't know if there's a study on that. People like what they like, but why? Yeah.
Yeah. And you think of, classical music and the frequency that was at, and just the resonance and the sort of enduring elements of that. Yeah. Oh, look forward to seeing some of your art. Yeah.
Oh,
well, maybe. I know.
Get to
No
that.
pressure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Eventually.
No pressure. Just excited that you've got a new direction. That's all. It's mostly
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you. And then, Karen, the thing that you mentioned somehow reminded me of the thing that I wanted to say to Andrew, which is, I think you spoke to kind of that larger view of how your experience with the geometry influences sort of the larger life patterns, right? And I think you mentioned patience. And so like patience with that inner process, patience with the drawing, and then our own emotional process. And Andrew, there was some way that you said it that I wanted to highlight, of like something in what you said about like a receptivity and being receptive to larger things. And I'm not being eloquent about it at all, but I really appreciated that reflection of, that all of you are offering. It's very similar, different ways of saying similar experiences. Thanks, Brooke. And let's see. Okay, so then if they end up going, Lako, you're going to round us off here, but if they end up coming and watching the whole thing, I want to say Tiffany and Hugh and Carly, best on your move, and all of those of us, if I'm forgetting anyone who were watching on the recording. It's you're in the field. It's a shared experience. It's been really lovely to have some of you when you're able to be online and offline as well. Lako, take us home. What you got?
I appreciate all of these lessons so much, and I look forward to the next 5 lessons and beyond. I like that you brought up the frequencies today, because I just got through studying Tibetan sound healing in my Qigong class. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to match up a symbol to have a visualization as I do all the meditation sounds, to just kind of amplify the healing effects. So I'm so excited about that and getting to have that, yeah, that other healing tool to incorporate into my medicine bag. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's that place, like you start to see the interconnectedness, the frequencies, the shapes, the sounds, the colors, and just bringing it all together, the coherence, right? We're just amplifying coherence, all of the healing modalities, and the geometry is just another tool in your tool bag. So it has been such an honor, such a pleasure. Thank you for the positive feedback. And I look forward to seeing those of you who are continuing on. If not, lots of ways to find me online, because I do a lot of different things in addition to this. But the next 5 classes are super cool. We're going to just look at polygons and how heptagons, pentagons, octagons, nonagons, and decagons have been used in occults, magic, and wisdom, and a lot of mystery school stuff. And then tesseract in the geometry of time travel. Like, it's so cool. I'm excited for those of you who are going on. I'm not meaning to, if you're not, it's no problem. It's always there. I'll be offering it through PCC a lot of the time. So just hop in at any point. Thank you all, and blessings on your journey. And I will see you again one way or another. Take care. All right. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.